Italian Garden. My name's John, and I'll be your host today. Today I got a special episode here for you. And just like I said in my last episode, I was going to do a little unveil of the camellias, or an update on the camellias, since the last time I did an update on them, which was back in like February, I think, of this last year. And they have grown considerably since then, and they are looking great. And I want to give you guys a couple tips on, you're getting to that point in the year where maybe you want to put your camellias in the ground. Maybe you grew some from seed, maybe you got some from a nursery, and you want to get them bedded down for the winter, and you don't know where to do that, or you don't know how to put them down, or make sure that they're in a good area. So I'm going to try to go over that here in a minute, and after I'm done showing you the camellias and how they're doing, and maybe you'll get some good tidbits of information out there. I know there's several people that have asked me on forums and other things that really they put their camellias in not so good spots, and they're having problems with them. So I kind of want to help those type of people and let them just kind of know about the great areas to put your camellias. So let's get over to my camellias in the greenhouse, and I'll show you. So here we are, guys, in my greenhouse, and this is what the camellias look like today. I'll bring one out for you here in the light. Considering what they started, if you look at that, that is a nice, healthy, close to a year old, it's getting there, camellia, and it has pretty much no problems right now besides just a little bit of a malformed leaf right there. And I've had a problem a little while ago. I had to cut these back a bit because the fact that I had a problem with I believe they got burnt somehow. I don't know if it was from my fertilizer or what, but I also have some fungus gnats down here that are in the soil. Gotta fix that before I bring them back in the house for the winter. But if you look down here at the stem, trying to get in the light, that is a nice fat sturdy stem, and you can see the branches that are coming off here that have now grown. And this is because I trimmed, see that? That's the growing tip. I trimmed that off right there, and it shot out one in this direction and that direction. And I also, just recently, I harvested some tea leaves off of it. Just the buds, that's the part you want to harvest. Just the one leaf and a tiny little bud that's starting to bud out. And these are the parts you want to harvest right at the end. Also, that I did that to help more branching and encourage more branching on these camellias. Here's probably my biggest plant here, and probably it shot out the fastest. It has a lot of really new growth on it, and it's looking pretty good too. There's really no problems with this, and it's trucking along. Now I'm going to keep these in pots for most of their life. I don't think I'm going to really plant them, but they'll do perfectly fine in a pot like this. If you want to put them in there, they'll stay in that size pot for probably about 2 years of its life if you plant it like that. This one has a nice stem on it. Not quite as nice as this one, but it's still pretty good. And then I have a couple of these over here, which I did not plant in a bigger pot. They're a little bit starved right now of fertilizer. I've been fertilizing them. They've perked up. They were really, really light green. I kind of put them on the wayside, forgot about them because I didn't know what I wanted to do with them. But I think I know now. I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to turn maybe one or two of them into a nice house plant bonsai. And I've seen people do it online where they've turned the camellias into bonsai, and I think that's what I'm going to do with those little guys, because they're really just sitting there and they don't have a place to go, any place to live in these big pots, and I don't really have room for them. So putting them on a bonsai with a little tray would be perfect. So I think that's what I'm going to do for that. But anyway, here, let me bring this guy out here as an example. Now, when you're planting your your camellia, don't do it in sun like this. You don't want harsh afternoon sun, and you don't want harsh morning sun as well. You can do it in the morning sun and they'll be fine. They might get a little tiny bit of burning on the leaves, but not much. You want something similar to probably like that. Get it to stay there. Like that. You want a little bit, you want filtered light. You don't want like super shady. I mean, they'll do fine in the shade. As long as there's ambient light, they'll do fine and they'll grow slower. But you want like a filtered light because they'll grow moderately quick and they'll be really nice. If you can put them in a sunny area with like a canopy or like shade cloth, an awning maybe, that would be good. Also, when you bed them down for the winter, do not, I repeat, do not put them in a low-lying point. You see how this is kind of like a hill here? And it comes up to my fence and it goes down this low-lying point. If you had a yard like that and you had area where you're planting in, don't plant it down here. Even though I live on a hill and the water's going to drain through anyway. But if you lived in a flat area where water collects, you want to put it on an area where it's a little bit uphill. Or, there's the or. If you don't have a choice and you have to put it in the area that's in a low point, then mound it up with dirt. Make sure that the dirt is piled up a good, I don't know, I'm going to say 5 or 6 inches or so above the actual soil line, and put a lot of compost in it so that they have plenty, and I mean plenty, of well-draining soil to push the roots in, and then they can push the roots into the other stuff that's kind of more damp. That way they have a barrier where they can, like, what am I trying to say? They have a barrier that they can stop root rot or any sort of really dampening off effect, and that will really help your camellias a lot. A lot of people go through diebacks when they plant their camellias and they don't know why, but it's because they take the camellias out of their pots, they put them straight into a soggy area and overwater them, and they don't like to be overwatered. I haven't watered since I would say 4 or 5 days ago, and it has been blisteringly hot out here. It's been 99 degrees. Today is 84, so it's a little bit less hot, but just don't overwater it, guys. Just that's one of my tips. And also keep that soil acidic, because like other plants, like example, this is some thyme that I just gave a haircut yesterday. Thyme is a plant that really likes acidic soil, and you know when you put some lime or other things in there that brings the acidity down. It would be down, not up, but the acidity will go down in numbers. Then that's what they really like. You need to keep that acidity up. I keep my acidity on my plants around what is it? I think it's 5.9 to 6, which is relatively good acidic level for these plants, and they love it. I mean, I have some over here that are a little bit behind, they're a little bit smaller, but they're catching up. And because they like acidity, because the nutrients in the soil, their roots can absorb that nutrients better because of the acidity. They like that acidity. So keep that acidity up, plant them in a good place, make sure that they have the right light, and just make sure that they're protected for the winter. Cover them with a good mulching, and you will do fine with your camellias, guys. Despite what most people say, the camellias can really survive in up to zone 7A pretty well. If not, use it as a house plant. They're great house plants. When they flower and bloom in the winter, they smell amazing. Camellias, guys, I really encourage you to grow camellias. They're an interesting plant. They're great. They're really fun, and yeah, I think that that you guys should really try it out. It's not very hard. And thank you guys for watching. I will probably update here soon with a garden tour. Just go through the garden, give a quick tour of what's going on. I have a lot of stuff going to seed, a lot of stuff producing fruit and vegetables. So I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a nice night. Later.